So Jesus calls together the crowd and he says essentially this to them. If any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. And a bit later he said, for what will it profit them to gain the whole world and forfeit their life? This is where the rubber hits the road, if you will. It's not enough to believe in God. It's not enough to affirm that there is a Holy Spirit. It is not enough to think that prayer is a good idea for other people. It's not enough to affirm that we believe in the love of God if it does not then transform and change us. If it does not have us scurrying to understand the depth and breadth and height of that love and what it is calling us to be and to do. Our faith is not about sitting on this stunning knowledge that the Son of God came into our world and asked us directly and clearly, who do you say that I am? And our answer is not to be some vague, metaphor-filled, theological textbook kind of response. Our response is about how we live and walk in this world, knowing that God is amongst us. This is the gaining of our lives part that Jesus was referring to. It is this relationship with God that is the anchor and the purpose and the meaning of life. The book of Proverbs described it in this way. Wisdom cries out in the street. In the squares she raises her voice. At the busiest corner she cries out. At the entrance of the city gates she speaks. How long, O simple ones, will you love being simple? The wisdom of God is so often lost on us. For we get so busy trying to define the Messiah that we miss recognizing the presence of the Messiah. In the letter of James, we heard the description of how we might consider how to tame the tongue, how we might no longer utter both blessings and curses, but instead seek God's purpose, God's hope, God's grace. Jesus was asking his followers not just to memorize the words, but to take up our cross and to follow. Become doers of the word, and not merely ones who nod in acquiescence. In recent times in this province, the results of the abuses of residential schools continues to surface. The destruction and harm that they have caused has lasted many generations, and the healing needs to go far beyond simply affirming a desire for change, but involves action and purpose, revealing our respect for the dignity of every human being because of our baptism, which calls us to go further. There are many aspects to this life that need more than our thoughts. They need our prayers of words and prayers of actions. Refugees in this world who are desperate for concern and new hope. The country of Afghanistan has been essentially destroyed by our commitment to war. The need for housing, for true homes, for an end to homelessness is desperately needed in the lower mainland and throughout our country. The number of people who have died as a result of drug overdoses while so many of us sit idly by continues to be of great concern. You know the list of concerns. I don't need to expand on all of them. But I began this sermon by noting that for many people, the pandemic has urged us to reconsider our priorities, our purpose, our desires. May we not lose sight of this wisdom that still cries in our streets as we consider Jesus' question of long ago that still echoes throughout the universe. Who do you say that I am? And perhaps in our contemplations, we come to see that Jesus is also asking, who do people say that we are? as a result of knowing this Jesus, this Messiah, as a result of our baptism. May our actions shout our response.